Coming up on Crossfire Collectibles, G.I. Joe Classified Series number 151, the Trench Viper and COBRA Modular Fortification. Stick around. What's up and welcome to Crossfire Collectibles. Today's video, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 151, Trench Viper and COBRA Modular Fortification set. So this is one of the kind of almost play sets that Hasbro has released for the G.I. Joe Classified Series. And here you have this modular fortification, basically a portable carry around, build it up, stack it up, however you do it, little base here. You get the COBRA Trench Viper, which is just a repaint of an Alley Viper, some sandbags, and some other goodies. But first, we're going to go ahead and check out our box. So here you have the nice little cover art here with the Trench Viper. There's a couple in the background. You see some rattlers flying by over the mountains, some sparks coming off of the modular, and you see a stacked modular over here. Pretty neat. There you have the Trench Viper inside, right there. Off to the side here, you have a QR code and some stats. Around to the back, there's all your contents. So you got 151. This figure stands at 6.1 inches. He's got the shield. It looks like a pair of pistols, a pair of knives. You got the Modus, a couple of ladders, sandbags, some stands, and of course, the modular fortification shelter itself. There you see a close-up of the Trench Viper's helmet. You see inside the back of the shield, and then inside of the modular itself. Stats again. Around to this side, nice little artist render of the Trench Viper. You see 151 at the bottom. Up to the top, COBRA 151 on the bottom UPC. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and pop this open. But first, please subscribe to the channel. Alright, so 151. We've come a long way, and I think everybody's been waiting for a little bit of some playset action. And here we are with this Trench Viper and modular fortification set. So, box has seen a little bit of better days. It's a little smashed in some areas, but we got the contents. And first box, 151 Trench Viper and COBRA modular fortification. 151 COBRA. We'll get to that. Pull the rest out. There is the Trench Viper. A couple accessories in there in his little plastic dungeon. And then let's pull the rest of this stuff out. I think the box off to the side. We're not rushing this, we're just going to take our time. But here's the contents of the box, and this will be our modular pieces in here. We're going to have to cut all these out, so bear with me a moment. Alright, have all our contents out. Here you see the backdrop in the box, red, got the COBRA logo, a couple of stripes over here. No longer need that, so we'll get that out of here. Here is your sandbag stack. So pretty nice, I like the way it feels. It is hollow. It has that kind of gritty, rigid feel to it. Almost looks like actual burlap bags, which is pretty nice, and the feel is pretty crazy. So that's cool. You got a couple of ladders here. So they're in this gray plastic. You see well detailed. They almost look like some sort of metal. They're probably a lightweight metal. You know, it is modular, so you can carry it around and build it. But you get two of those. And then we'll go ahead and get these pieces out. And here is the modular fortification base itself. Looks like you got 3 walls, 2 pieces of floor, and then obviously your weapons rack, which we'll show off first. Gray plastic, almost looks like a little bit of concrete somewhat. You have these 2 slots here, and a bunch of prongs going up the side, 10 total. Looks like you can hold 5 weapons plus an additional fuel on each side. So pretty nice. We'll check out the walls here. COBRA issued ballistic wall. That's pretty neat. Kind of almost the same texture as the weapon rack, but you have this in a blue color. You can see they added a little bit of weathering around these edges here for, I guess, what would those be? Those connecting pieces, you know, if it were outdoor. So some sort of metal, you can see the paint wearing off. Flip around to the back, you have a tension modular wall. There's piece 1, look at piece 2 here. And then your COBRA issued ballistic wall. Right here you have the COBRA logo. Flip around to the back, also says attention modular wall. Then we'll look at the third piece where you have these windows. So very nice. Again, has that little bit of a weathering paint detail on it. A couple of little holes in there, probably some bullet holes, you know, just damaged it a bit. So back is a little bit smoother than the front, but you still have a bit of texture on there. So really nice. You can see these pieces will all pretty much just connect together. And then here you have your two pieces of flooring. So look at the bottom, kind of that great style. 2025 Hasbro, made in China. Flip around it this way. You have these pieces to plug the walls into. Check those out. Come over to our little accessory box and then pull out the contents. So first you get a little instruction manual, which is very cool. Oh look, something we haven't seen in a while. Crap. Alright, so here's the cover. Open it up. Pretty much shows you have basic assembly. 1, 2, 3 steps. Around to the back. How to assemble a machine gun. Not much to it. And then you have a pair of accessory bags. I thought it was 3 for a second. So let's go ahead and pull these open. And we'll get out contents for bag number 1. And a lot of stuff in here. So you have an ammo belt. You can see it has that kind of grayish green color. You have some gold painted bullets. Cool. Spotlight. Very nice. Gray plastic, has that translucent yellow in the center. You have the 2 pieces on each side to allow it to angle forward and backward. Let me see. You have this little piece of the Modus. So it would basically plug into it. That's your little plug right there. There's your trigger handle. Or you could use this backing, you know, with dual grips. You have this little hinge piece here that likely will go on the gun. I think on the bottom to connect it onto, well, we didn't get that part out yet, but it'll likely go onto the stand. This little round piece here, not sure what it goes to yet. And then you have a lot of the modular connection pieces. These little cylindrical pieces here, 4 of those total in that dark blue color. Then it looks like you got 4 of these little connecting cat pieces here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, also in the dark blue. You have 2 of these probably swingy hinge pieces to allow them to be connected, add on to it. Depending on how you do connect it, you know, all these pieces come in handy for some way or the other. And then you have these other 2 pieces here. It looks like they would be slide-ons, pop-ons, you know, whichever. That'll also allow some movement. So very cool. Now onto our other bag. And a ton of more accessories. So we'll go ahead and bring out our 50 cal here. And there it is. You see very dark black, maybe a dark gunmetal. It's got COBRA stamped on the side. Nice. Hole at the end of the barrel, so if you want to add the blast effect. You have the Trench Viper shield. So just like the Alley Viper, you know, same design, just different colors. Has that purple around the COBRA symbol here. Black paint, or actually black plastic, but it's nice. They had that little digital marking on the front, around to the back, all black. Here's your little strapped holder, very nice. And then you have your little digital readout for the back of the shield. Nice. Okay, so what you want to do is grab one side of each, one pegged and one hold. That way you can simply place these together. Go ahead and start at the bottom. We're going to leave that top open temporarily. So here's your second piece. So a nice little kind of a booster or riser piece. So it does have that little ball on it. So once you put it in, pop it in, and it looks like you can hold it in place depending on where you snap it down at. These little lips here will allow you to move it down further or up higher, whichever you want to do, I guess depending on how high you want it raised. So we'll go ahead and leave it at this point for the moment and set that down. Go ahead and bring out our second pair of stands here. At the bottom, we'll go ahead and peg that in, get the top piece. Let's see, we'll go right here. and bring that together, and they're flush. So we're good to go with that. And then our final piece, we have this little radar dish. So all black, you have some silver paint on the inside, kind of on the radar itself. A little connecting piece down here. So very nice. And that looks like it's it for all the modular pieces. So quite a bit. We'll go ahead and slide all the stuff to the side, and then we'll bring in the trench viper himself. We'll go ahead and look at the weapons first. So we'll start with the pistol. They went back for this one. So this is one of the older style pistols that we got that came with the COBRA VIPER. All black, simple repaint. You know, it's the way to go for them, and I guess that's what they chose. You see down to the lower port of the plastic, you have a pair of knives here. So we'll go and show them off. These are a newer mold, so very nice. You can see that round handle. You have that little loop piece on there, and then your silver blades. So very cool. Two matching ones, so they'll go on the trench viper somewhere. And now for the figure. All right, so here he is, COBRA Trench Viper. He has that dark blue jumpsuit. Look at the vest, it's got the grays and blacks in it. There's some white and black digital markings on him, down to his black boots. Gray for the holster. He's got a sheath on one arm, a sheath up on his top of his chest piece here. You look at the visor, you can still see a little bit of that metallic light purple on the top of the helmet here. The red little eyepiece, cyclops piece I call it, on the front of the Alley Viper helmet. Flip that up, and there he is. Nice menacing looking face. He's got the red hood on. Very cool, he looks nice. He's got Sentry here on this little bicep padding here. COBRA logo on this side. Very cool. Looks like the drop leg holster over here was not attached to the leg, so it's held on by these 3 straps. And then over to the other side, a couple extra probably ammo pouches, and held on by 2. Also looks like these shoulder padding pieces can come off. Shoulder armor padding, whatever. So very nice. So let's go ahead and check out his articulation. Typical classified. Head is on a ball joint. Neck also has a little bit of range of motion in there too, so you can angle his head down, up, a little bit of side to side, and of course it'll rotate a full 360. It's kind of taking its neck with it. So let's go ahead and straighten it back up and fix it. Visor will pop off, held on by those 2 little tabs on each side. Over at the arms, up at the shoulders, you have a butterfly joint. The hinge, even with these shoulder pads on, they just slide down. You lift them up and allow the arm to come up that far. They can rotate a full 360. You see, put this back up. There's bicep rotation. There's a double jointed pinless elbow. We'll move it down to the hands. So the connection at the wrist, it's on a hinge peg. The hand can angle down and up. Range of motion in there, of course, and rotate a full 360. Lots of detail on the gloves. It looks like almost maybe 2 materials that they meant to have it look like. So pretty nice. Both are almost kind of grip trigger hands. Look good. Vest is on. Can't really check out the articulation in the torso, but we can go down to the waist and you can see the waist swivel. Down at the legs, up at the hip, you have the drop leg. Go ahead and bring the leg forward that far, out to the side that far, and back about that far. It's got a thigh rotation. It's got a double jointed pinless knee. He's got calf rotation at the bottom of the pants and the tops of the boots. Down to the ankle, you have that hinge to allow the foot to go that far forward, that far up, and he's got side to side rocking down the bottom of the feet. 2 holes to allow him to pop into some pegs, which I don't think we need. The Alley Viper stands pretty good, nice and stable. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just gear him up while we're at it. We'll go ahead and bring in one of our knives here. It felt pretty loose going in, but then it almost kind of locks. That's pretty cool. I like that. All right, so in and it's in. And then we're gonna come over to our little arm sheath here. Slide that in right there. I think that looks okay. We don't want it down on the top of his hand. I don't want it, you know, getting in the way or nothing, but I think you probably could go either way with it. Yep. Yeah, there we go. So, and we'll just leave it like that. I think it looks better this way. You have that piece here, almost looks like a locking mechanism. I just don't really like that the handle is over top of his hand. Maybe we can slide it down some more, make it look a little better. All right, there we go. And a pistol over to his little holster and pop his sidearm in, and that's pretty much it. So trench viper off to the side. All right, so keep in mind, we did purchase, I think, 4 of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to go through with them all. The US versions of these trench vipers have not shipped yet. However, Hasbro Europe has. They're also being found on AliExpress, which of course is where I got mine. I normally don't go out of the way to get stuff too early, but I figured to go ahead and grab one of these because we haven't gotten a decent release of Classified in over a month. So we want to go ahead and get something out, and here it is. All right, so before we build that, we're going to go ahead and make our gun stand here. So we have our stand piece right here. I don't think we need it up too high, but you know, we're going to mess with it some. We're going to go ahead and take this piece here and just simply pop that right into the top, like so. Then we want to go ahead and grab our little swinging hinge peg here, and we're going to pop that onto the bottom of the 50 cal, just like that. Come up to the top, plug it in, there we go. And then you have your choice of which grip you want to give it. Do you want to hold it with 2 hands, or do you want to give it the trigger effect? For this one, I think I'm actually going to go with the more traditional grips like that, and I think that'll work out nicely for us. We want to go ahead and get our ammo belt, and we'll feed that through right here. Pull it to the side, bring it down. This ammo belt's a little bit kind of harder plastic than what we're used to, so it's not quite hanging like it should look, but I think that'll do. And there we go. I think that's proper height. That should work, so good to go. Put this stuff aside, and we'll go ahead and start on our modular itself. So we'll start with this piece, which will be our rooftop. We don't have to put the finishing touches on yet, so we're going to go ahead and put the spotlight and a little radar dish off to the side. And we'll go ahead and bring in the bottom portion here, which will act as our floor stand. All right, so we're going to let's angle our camera so we can see this a little bit better. And then we'll go ahead and start with our front piece. So what we want to do is bring in a side each. So we're simply going to bring these 2 pieces together and snap and snap. And there we go. So you have 1 and 1. And we're going to do the exact same on the other side. So on and on. And there you go. So I like how you could also open it up. Kind of gives the resemblance of the old Cobra battle bunker. So I like that. That's nice. And then we'll fold these pieces in. We'll look at the bottom. You can see where those holes are, and we'll just line them up with the tabs. So 2 in the front, 2 on each of the sides. Bring it on down and snap it in. And just like that, you have your base and walls. We'll come off to the side here and grab our little ammo rack. Also, we got the holes there and then the 2 pegs. And we'll simply just plug that in right there. And we can go ahead and get our roof. So we'll flip it around, make sure the pegs are angled down, and pop them right on into our holes. So now we need our ladder. And we can connect our ladder right here. So kind of angle that on and then pull it down, and it pretty much grips on it. It's like a pair of teeth. Now, if you were going to add your second ladder piece on top of it, it would connect it right here. And that's when you would bring in your little peg pieces right here. So I'll just show you them while we add it, because we only have the one open currently. And then you would just go ahead and plug that on in. So you could have a larger climb, you know, depending how you're building it. But we're not doing that for this one, so we're going to go ahead and take that back off. And then we'll go ahead and bring in our little radar dish here. And snap that onto the top. And then we have our spotlight, which we can snap in over on this side. Just like that. And there we go. So now we still have our secondary little stand here that we don't really need. We're not going to use it. So we're going to put that off to the side. It's kind of weird how they include the two. I wonder if it was meant to be like that. But we'll go ahead and bring in our trench viper. We forgot to put his shield on him, so we'll go ahead and do that. These can be tricky sometimes, so we might just go ahead and pop the hand so we can put the shield on his left arm. So we'll get that piece on, and then we'll just go ahead and plug that hand right on back in, like that. So it makes it a little more easier to where you don't have to try to, you know, pry them bands over the hand itself. There we go, it's in now. Pick that up, see how it looks. All right, cool. So at this point, we don't really need to do anything else. We don't have any other pieces out, so we're not going to connect the other modulars. We're not going to go and worry about building them up. So we're going to put these to the side along with the secondary ladder. We don't need the second stand here. We do have our 50 cal in the back. Bring it out to the front. Turn the battle bunker sideways. All right, so here is everything. Here is our COBRA Modular Fortification. Sandbags. We have the trench viper and we have the 50 cal in the back. Everything good to go. Can we throw this on the turntable? I think we can. We're just gonna have to put the little modular off to the side. We'll kind of flip it this way just to give you a look inside of it. Not gonna worry about bringing out any other weapons. Put the trench viper here real quick and bring the gun over, and we'll go ahead and do a quick comparison. Without cutting, we're just gonna go ahead and bring in the regular alley viper to show them all side by side. As you can see, you know, basic repaint. Same everything, just repaint it. That's really all it is. There's a couple differences. I mean, some of the weapons, of course, you'd see down here, he's got these shin guards. Of course, they're not on the trench viper. But I mean, overall, it is a nice looking repaint. I do like the colors. The dark blue jumpsuit with the black and white digital markings on it. And the red mask, it really kind of blends in. I think it looks good. But that's it for a quick comparison for this one. And now, like I said, I think we can fit it. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the turntable and we'll spin Trench Viper. And then we'll give you some final thoughts.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Crossfire Collectibles.
Crossfire Collectibles.
Crossfire Collectibles.
Crossfire Collectibles. And knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
All right, so here you have it. The G.I. Joe Classified Series number 151. Trench Viper and COBRA Modular Fortification Playset. Very cool. Different take. I was not expecting them to bring out any type of playsets for the classified line, honestly. I mean, at first we never really thought we were going to get vehicles, and we did. And this is kind of the first official playset that we've gotten in the entire line, which is pretty cool. I like the fact that it is modular, so you can build onto it, stack it how you like it, expand it, do whatever, get as many as you want. You'll get a Trench Viper troop builder here. You'll get your sandbag, you get your 50 cal. We got this extra stand, I believe it just comes with them, and you get a secondary ladder, plus all your little modular connecting pieces over here on the side. The figure itself, he's great. I mean, it is just an Alley Viper repaint, but I think they chose a nice line of colors here. It looks good. He really does look like a good figure. Kind of more of the urban assault type. I like the little sentry stamp that he's got over here on that shoulder armor. Shield looks good. Kind of throws you off a little bit with that purple metallic COBRA logo on the shield and up on his helmet, but I think they blend in well and they look good. So nice mix of colors, and it made it actually look pretty decent. The modular, pretty nice that they included that weapon rack, so that's always fun. He'll fit in there, he stands up, you know, all the good stuff. You can't fit too many, maybe a couple figures, 2, 3 tops. 4 if you jam them, but why would you want to do that, you know, have that cram packed when you can get more than one? But overall, I think it's a great figure, a great set. It's nice, you get a lot of stuff, a little steep for the price, I think. I mean, but, you know, it is Hasbro, you get a lot of that stuff, and, you know, who knows what's going to happen in the future with it. But overall, it's great. I would recommend it. I think the Trench Viper is the best thing out of the set. The modular is cool. I don't know if I'm going to open too many or if I'm going to go through with the rest of them, but we'll see what happens. So that's going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. If you did, please, like always, leave that giant thumbs up, subscribe, tickle that bell so you're notified when we post future videos. Be sure to follow us on social media. And like always, we will see you in the next one. Peace.